So this week I'll be using Alex strategy to analyze 20 pairs in the market. So I'm going to use his set and forget strategy to trade the forex market this week, and let us see the best pairs we are willing to see for this new week. Yup. So as you all know, guys. Last week Alex streaked the Super Bowl, right? He streaked the Super Bowl again. If you watch this video right here, man, I keep telling you guys. Where's the video? If you guys watch this video, I actually highly recommend you guys watch this video to kind of understand a little bit of why he's streaking Super Bowl and stuff, right? But that doesn't really matter right now. What matters is next week's setups. Let us see if we can use LSG strategy this week to make money, right? So let us we'll start from the very first pair. I'll break down all these pairs live, right? I'll break down all these pairs live. So Euro USD, you start by deleting everything, right? And then looking at what market structure is doing right now, right? So right now, the market structure on the daily time frame is clearly bullish, right? It's clearly bullish, and the reason for that is because here is the higher high. This is the highest point price I've ever gone, and for you to have a higher high, you need to have a lower high. I mean higher low, right? Higher low. So for that, in this case, this is actually the higher low. Our area of interest should be found within this higher high and higher low, right? But we only have one information here, which is that the daily is bullish. So let's see what the weekly is doing. Now, the weekly, as you can clearly tell, is also bullish, right? So the weekly time frame is also bullish. So we already have two time frames in sync. Weekly and daily is bullish. So now let's see how the 4 hour looks. The 4 hour time frame right now is currently bearish, right? It's currently bearish actually. The 4 hour time frame is actually currently bearish because this right here is the lower low. I will look at this as the lower low and this as the lower high. If you're looking at this small shift right here, I will not really count it. It's insignificant, right? So now let's go over to the daily time frame and actually draw an area of interest where we can buy from, right? Now I will be buying. I will draw this area of interest right here. I can see, to me, it's very, very clean. So watch this. Right, so right here we had one rejection. Price came to this area and sold down strongly, came to this area again, sold down strongly, same thing here, and now it's above. It's actually buying up strongly, right? So it means anytime we are below this area, we are selling down to the downside, just like this, and anytime we are above this area, we are buying to the upside. That's very good information. Now, another thing that we have here is that price bought and actually sold for about 3 days, right? These 3 days price have sold. Now we are having some form of doji right here. It's very possible that price could actually continue going to the upside, right? It's very, very possible that price could actually continue going to the upside. So let's look for a round psychological level here. If you can see, we have a round psychological level 1.8 thousand. So let's draw it. 1.8 thousand. Oh, right there, right? So I am let's see how the 4 hour looks. I want to see exactly what to do on this market. We have a minor area right here too. So that's going to be a 4 hour area, right? So let's draw it first. I'll I'll take you guys. I'll explain what I'm doing. I'll explain what I'm doing, right? This right here is a 4 hour area of interest. Daily time frame has already reacted from this area, right? And if you look on a daily, we are having some form of retracement, and if you look, is right at this 4 hour area of interest. And if you look over to the left, you can see that that is actually the high, the last previous high, right? Which is this one right here. So price is actually reacting from those levels. Okay, so let's go to the 4 hour again. Okay, so this market is actually very confusing, but I actually have a decision on this market. I believe this market, if we can have a new break like this and a retracement, we can actually buy, right? So I'll actually decide to if to add this pair for this week because it's not really the cleanest setup, right? But I actually believe this market could potentially buy, right? If you look on the 1 hour, 1 hour right now is still well technically bullish. 1 hour is still technically bullish. I believe this market could end up buying this new week, but it's not really the best of the best for now because that's the only pair we have analyzed. So let's go to other pairs. Then we'll decide if to add Euro USD for this week, right? So next pair USD JPY. So we won last week on this pair. So let's see if we can get a new opportunity on this pair, right? So USD JPY. It seems like we have already called the move. This right here was the break, and this right here was the retracement. And I was telling you guys about the slowdown, right? And this was last week anyway. So price actually sold last week. So right now I can't really see an area of interest to draw here, right? So we might not really get an opportunity on this market. We might not really get an opportunity on this market. So I'll not be interested in USD JPY this week. So GBP USD. Now let's see what we have. So I took USD JPY and GBP USD last week. I lost on GBP USD and I won on USD JPY. So now let's see if GBP USD can give us a new opportunity to trade this new week. Daily time frame on GBP USD is looking pretty clean to me. First of all, the daily time frame is clearly bullish. As you can see, this is the higher high, and the higher low for that is right here, right? So area of interest. Let's look for a clean area of interest. So this right here, I can see something here. I can see a clean area of interest right here. So I'll draw it a little bit more cleaner. So let's see. So right here, price came to this area about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right, and rejected down strongly, right? Now we are actually clearly above this area, and we came to this area, and we bought up for some time. Okay, so first of all, the market is bullish. Second, what I'm noticing is that in the bullish market on the retracement, we bought for some time and we started selling for some time. But now, as soon as the buyers took control of this market, when it started selling down, they started losing volume, they started losing momentum. And then the last day, and I think this is on Friday, the last day engulfed 2 days of price action, right? So one day, which was on Friday, it engulfed 2 days of price action. Okay, so that is a good sign that we might actually end up buying this market. Weekly time frame seems like we are rejecting this area of interest. So we are still rejecting the daily area of interest in this case, right? So let's see what the 4 hour is saying. Now the 4 hour time frame. The 4 hour time frame is actually, let's see, it was bullish, break under all this low, bearish. To me, I'll call this low and high, right? Price was still bearish, then we broke above, making this market bullish, which makes this the higher high. Okay, so this makes this the higher high. Let's remove this. Let's remove this too. Right, so which makes this the higher high, and this right here the higher low of this market. Now, if you look closely, we didn't actually close above this high, right? Which makes all this market structure that is happening right here bullish, right? So that's what I can see now. All right, so let's draw this minor area that I can see. Let's see how the 1 hour looks. So on the 1 hour time frame, we have a minor area on the 1 hour time frame, which is this one right here, right? So anytime we are above this area, we seem to be buying, right? And anytime we are below this area, just like this, we seem to be selling. So right now, even if market structure is bullish, right now, we should still wait for a break and retest above this level to continue buying. This market is not as clean, but I can actually see buys again on this market. I think that is the same thing with Euro USD. I can also see buys on that market too. So for now, I will not add them for this week because I'm expecting to see cleaner pairs. If I don't see cleaner pairs to add, then I'll add GBP USD and Euro USD for this new week. For now, I'm still deciding. GBP card next pair, let's see what we have. So we delete everything. All right. So the daily time frame. Daily time frame on GBP card is bearish, right? Why? Because this right here is the lower low, and this right here is the lower high, right? So now let's look for an area of interest. I can see something here. Now an area of interest is valid when it has at least 3 taps, right? So this right here is 1, 2, and 3 right here, right? If I go over to the left, I can even see more, right? I can even see way more over to the left. So 1 rejection here, 2 rejection. So that's actually pretty good, right? Okay, so daily is bearish. Weekly, let's see. Weekly time frame, I don't like how it's looking, right? Weekly time frame, now that to me that is a pin bar, right? That is a pin bar. Only if it was the daily time frame, I would expect that the daily time frame could actually fill that week. But this right here is a pin bar, and is the Marabuzu pin bar, by the way, because now we don't even have a week to the top. Let me come closer to show you guys. Let me come closer. So if I come closer, you can see we don't even have a week to the top. It's very likely that price will actually reject to the upside, right? That's what the weekly is telling us. So I am not, you know, very much interested anymore because of what I've seen. 4 hour time frame, let's see. Now 4 hour time frame is actually bullish, right? 4 hour time frame, this is the higher high, this is the higher low. So do we have two time frame in sync? 4 hour is bullish, daily time frame is bearish, weekly time frame is bullish, right? In this case, we don't have two time frame in sync, so we have to sit it out, right? So we are not trading GBP card this week. So let's see what GBP NZD has for us. GBP NZD weekly time frame is bearish, right? Okay, so just look at this. Weekly time frame is bearish. We are at a weekly support area or weekly area of interest, as you can see right here, because we have rejected here three times. Now this last week was just a doji. Can you see that we sold so strongly until we get to this area, and now we have a doji? Okay, so that sign is not so much of a great sign. But let's see. Daily time frame is bearish. So let me show you guys what I mean. Daily time frame, this right here is the lower low, as you can see, and this is the lower high. On a normal day, we should look for a retracement to around area to sell, right? But now the weekly time frame is having a doji, okay, and this area of interest is a very strong one. So now let's see what the 4 hour has to say. 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame is choppy to me, but this market is actually bullish because here is now the higher high and this is the higher low. So we don't have two time frame in sync. So let me show you exactly what I'm seeing. Right. So this right here, price was selling to the downside, retrace, sold to the downside, retrace, come here, and it's now up. If I bring these parts down, right, you can clearly see that this right here was the lower low, and this was the lower high. As soon as price broke above this lower high right here, it means that this will now become the new higher high, and this is now the new higher low. And as you can see from this, it was not so clean on the chart, but as I brought it down, you can see that this seems like a reversal pattern, like a left head right shoulder or inverted left head right shoulder, right? So I am not interested in selling this market this new week. We don't have the two time frame in sync, and that is the major reason why, right? Next pair, seems like this week is going to be very boring. I'm finding it very difficult to actually find a pair to trade this new week. All these other pairs I'm still deciding. So daily time frame on USD card, I was explaining why this market will sell. As you can see, it's sold. But let us see what we have for this new week. Right, that week is over. So this time frame is bearish. Is bearish. Let's see if we can get an area of interest here. So this is the valid area of interest we can get on this market, and it seems like the major trade is this one, right? Because we broke under the area, we'll retrace the area, and then we'll look for reasons to sell from the area. So the sell has already happened, so we don't really have anything to do right now. Let's see how the 4 hour looks. 4 hour time frame, as you can see, this is where the shift of structure happened. Higher high, higher low, shift of structure, retracements, and reasons to enter to sell. Right, so the market has already played out. USD card, the market has already played out. I'm not interested in this market this new week. So next pair is Euro NZD. Euro NZD, let's see the daily time frame. Okay, guys, let me tell you something. It's like this has become a pattern, right? I realize that anytime we have very solid weeks, let's say, because last week was very solid, right? We had a lot of trades going in the predicted direction, just that it was too fast for us to actually enter, right? But we actually still came out positive at the end of last week. Now, after every solid weeks of market going and doing the right thing, the next week is just usually just dog shit, right? The next week is just like literally just all over the place. You can barely see any trades. Anyway, let's not judge too quickly. Let's continue and see what we have. NZD, Euro NZD, daily time frame is still clearly bearish, right? Lower low, lower high, as you can clearly see. So if I just draw the path so that you guys can just see. As you can see, this is exactly what market did. I'm just drawing exactly what market did. If I bring this out, you can tell that this was the lowest point. So it's the lower low, and the lower high for that is this, right? It means that this market structure is bearish. Okay. So since the market structure is bearish on the daily time frame, we at least need two time frame in sync. The weekly time frame is also bearish, but we are having a slowdown. We have a doji right now. Now the weekly time frame is not actually having a doji like here, for example, because if it's having a doji here, we will be willing to actually sell this market. But this doji that we're having down here is showing that we might actually start reversing up. Now, even if this market is bearish, The market will remain bearish even if price is around here. So let me explain what I'm saying. If this is the lower low on the weekly time frame and this is the lower high, even if price decide to retrace all the way down here, right, it means that this market structure is still bearish, because this right might just be the retracement for the new selling to the downside, right? So if we have already had the retracement and this doji we had it here, I'll be much more interested. But right now this doji is against, you know, it's against the trend, because this market structure is actually bearish. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so weekly time frame is also bearish, but you understand what I just explained. Now 4-hour time frame is now bullish, right? 4-hour time frame is now bullish. Hmm. 4-hour time frame is bullish right now. I genuinely cannot see what to do on this market, to be honest. I genuinely cannot find what to do on this market. Let me look at the daily again. Not so clean. We're pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're pretty much stalling around this price point the entire week. Around this price point the entire week, and that makes sense because the last week was actually a doji, which means we're just stalling around this price point the entire week. 4 hour is pretty much the same thing. We're moving down, we'll move up. Next week, next day we'll move down. All we're just stalling here the entire week. So right now I don't really have any solid plan on NZD Euro NZD, to be honest. Right, so we have to just go to the next pair. GBP JPY. GBP JPY, I was expecting that if we were bullish, because we were, right, for us to continue being bullish, we need to break above this high, right? Break above this high and have a retracement of that high to actually buy. So we never did that. This area of interest held very strongly and sold this market to the downside, right? So, loss avoided on that pair. So now let's see what we have for this new week. All right, so the area of interest I can find here is this one right here on the daily time frame. So we have the daily time frame bearish, right? We have the daily time frame is clearly bearish. Weekly time frame just had a very massive selling. This is what I'm talking about, right? The market has been bullish, so for us to continue bullish, we should have a break and retest to the upside. But right now you can clearly see what just happened, right? 1 week of price action, 1 week have engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is a lot, right? That is more than 1 month of price action. That is about 1 month and like 3 weeks, 56 days. That's crazy in 1 week, right? So right now this market structure, well, should we call it bullish or bearish now? To me it's not that clean, so I'm not make any solid decision on it, right? If it's not clean, I'm not making a decision on it. So if we are bearish on the daily, we need the 4 hour to be bearish for us to consider selling this market, right? So now the 4 hour time frame is currently bearish, but if you are going back to area of interest, because we need to we need to react from area of interest. If I go over to the 4 hour, sorry, if I go over to the daily, you can clearly see that we had a break. We need a retracement, so that retracement is very vital for this market, right? We need a retracement back into this area for us to make a decision. But on the 4 hour time frame, if we have that retracement back into area of interest, the 4 hour will switch bullish, which means if price goes to area of interest, we need it to shift bearish again before we actually consider selling this market. See what I mean by this market is just dog shit this week, right? This week is just, the market is literally just not having a clear direction. So that is that for GBP JPY. For now, we don't really know what to do. Let's go to NZD USD. I don't know why the hell my chart is dirty like this. So daily time frame 1, 2, 3, 4. So daily time frame on NZD USD is bullish, right? It's just clearly bullish. This right here is a higher high. We don't have any price action that broken above that high. So that is the highest point. And this is the lower high for this market, which means this entire market structure is bullish. Weekly time frame. Weekly time frame is also bullish, but it need a retracement, right? So at least this last previous structure point on the weekly to buy. It doesn't have that retracement. What do we do? There's nothing we can do there. 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame. Let us see. Four-hour time frame might actually just be bearish, or it is bearish right now. Just give me a second. Let me make a decision about this market. So this time frame is bearish. Daily is what? Daily is bullish, right? We cannot twist it. Daily is bullish, and weekly is also bullish. 1 hour time frame, which will be the entry time frame, right now is also bullish. Man, this market is really all over the place. For some reason, I actually believe this market would end up selling, right? I actually believe this market will end up selling, and for us to sell this market, I might actually need like a break and retest under this level right here, which is under the lower high, right? If you can have a break and retest under here, it will feel more valid. But this market structure, I don't like when a market structure is very confusing. So there's no need to add it for this week because it's looking like I'm going to be losing, right? But I'll just keep it close. I want to see how it plays out. Euro GPP. Okay, so Euro GPP. So let's use this as our area of interest, right? Let's just use this as our area of interest. So one thing we noticed from this area is that price came around this area and rejected down strongly. Same thing around this level. When it was above, it rejected up to the upside. When it was below, rejected down. When it was below, rejected down. And now it seems like it's reacting from that same area right now, right? So this market structure is man, is genuinely bullish right now, but it has more reasons to be selling. This week, this particular week is even stressful, right? It's even stressful. So this right here, okay, you know what, let us actually draw this market structure from here. Let's draw it. So this right here, right? Let's draw it. I want to see a cleaner perspective. All right, so let me bring this down and see what we really have here. So this was the lower low at the time, and this was the lower high, making this market bearish. So now we broke below, making this now the new lower low, and this the new lower high. So we broke up here first before we broke down here. So this now make this market bullish because this is now the new higher high and this is the new higher low, right? And as soon as we close below, because we close here first, this will now become the new lower low, and the lower high for that is this one right here. So now we close below, this market is now more bearish because this is now the new lower low and this is the new lower high. Then we close above, higher high right here, higher low, and then we close above again, making this market structure actually bullish because this right here is the higher high and this right here is the higher low, right? So this market tried to trick me. This market is actually bullish. Okay, now let's see what we still have. That is the daily time frame. The weekly time frame. The weekly time frame is bearish because we have, here is the lower low and we had a retracement back into area of interest, and as you can see from this retracement, we have come to this area about 3 times, 4 times. So which means for this entire month, or for an entire month, price has come to this area and clearly rejected down. Clearly that's happened. This is also a valid weekly area of interest because we have 1 rejection, 2 and 3 rejections from this area, and technically these are rejections. So this brings me to the conclusion that this market could actually start selling this week. This market, wow. All right, so if this market should sell this week, then it means that I should expect that this area of interest should hold market so strongly that this market structure does not really matter. I don't know whether you guys are really understanding what I'm saying. It is slightly different because right now we were coming aggressively, as you can see, to this area with very big candles. But once we came to that area, we started stalling on that area for about 3 days, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Actually 4 days, right? So we started stalling around that area for 4 days, which means that this area of interest might be very, very, very strong. All right, so I'm looking at sales on this market so far. Now let's go over to the 4 hour. I want to see what is there. Now 4 hour time frames even way more cleaner because right now we were bullish and we just shifted structure bearish right now. From the EMA you can clearly tell that we are about to shift structure bearish right now, right? So 4 hour time frame is bearish in my opinion, right? But this is a very tight one. I know that I'm breaking my rules here because of the daily. So what we are looking for is some form of retracement to at least this last previous structure point, like here for example, to sell. Let's see how it looks on the 1 hour time frame. As you can see on the 1 hour time frame, it's going to look way more cleaner because it's going to look like a break because we broke this low. It's going to be like a break, a retracement, and confirmatory entry to sell. So this might actually be a very tight one. It's a risky trade. In fact, I'm not going to cap. It's actually a risky trade, but I'll keep it close for this week. To be honest, I'll keep it close for this week. All right. Now let me go to the daily time frame. I want to see where the take profit target will likely be. Now this might actually be the first take profit target, and this will now be the next take profit target. This pair is actually hurting my brain, but I'm telling you right now, I believe this market could actually sell, right? So let's see. We'll decide on it later. So Euro JPY. Euro JPY is currently bearish. So let's delete everything that we have right here. So Euro JPY is clearly bearish. We have been bullish for quite a while, and right now we have an area of interest right here, as you can see. Now it's very simple. What we'll be looking for here, a retracement back into area to continue selling, right? Weekly time frame. Also, this last week was a very strong one, and it engulfed about One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. 8 weeks of price action. It was a very strong one. 4 hour time frame. Again, if 4 hour time frame is coming to area of interest, go to shift bullish. Right now, I don't genuinely know what to do. When the market is on the 4 hour is against. I actually like the combo of daily time frame, the 4 hour time frame, and the 1 hour time frame. Right, I usually feel very confident when these three time frames are actually in the same direction of the trade I'm about to take. Right, it's just a very personal thing and it seems to be working for me. Right, this right here, 4 hour is going to shift bullish. I will not really be confident on that market, to be honest. In fact, last week when I was telling you guys I was not confident on GBP USD, if I show you guys here, let me show you guys. When I was about to enter GBP USD, right? GBP USD, I told you guys I was less confident on this trade, and you can clearly see that at the end of the day, this trade actually hit stop loss. It's not as if I was not trading my plan or I broke any of my rules. It's just because of only the 4 hour time frame was actually bearish. If you go to GBP USD, where is it? If you go to GBP USD, if you check the 4 hour time frame, in my opinion, the 4 hour time frame was still clearly bearish at the time. Right, we are just looking for a break and retest somewhere here to buy. The 4 hour time frame was still looking bearish to me. I still needed a cleaner price action to trade. Right, so that is the same thing I'm seeing here on Euro JPY. Euro JPY, the daily time frame is telling us that we need a retracement here to sell, which will be the cleanest time frame, by the way, because we have a very clean area of interest, clear rejections. So we need price to come back and reject, just like it has rejected here multiple times. But once it gets there, the 4 hour time frame will shift bullish. So we kind of need the 4 hour time frame shift bearish again to sell. So we'll make a decision about that, but I highly doubt that is going to happen. Right, I highly doubt. So let's go over to the next pair, Euro AUD. Let's see what we have there. All right, Euro AUD. First of all, this time frame has clearly just been going down, as you can see. That just clearly be going down. So clearly, this is the lowest point that price got to. Again, we are using the bodies, not the wicks. Lower low, and to me, this is the lower high. So we need an area of interest within here, and I usually like area of interest that is within last previous structure point, right? So now let's see if we have an area of interest. So going over to the left, if I extend this to the right, as you can see, in my own opinion, this area of interest is not valid. To me, we have only two rejections, one and all the way here, two, right? This right here was, to me, genuinely was just a tap into the area. It's just a like weak into the area. Okay, so daily time frame, let's just see first. So daily time frame is bearish. Weekly time frame, let's see. Weekly time frame is also bearish, but for us to sell, we need a retracement. 4 hour time frame. Four-hour time frame actually looks good. Four-hour time frame actually looks good. Now let me see something. Now, inside this area of interest on the daily, right? Because to me, this daily area of interest is not valid. It is not valid in my own opinion, right? So, but it's an area of interest. It's there, but it's not valid. Now, I want to use like a 4-hour area of interest in this case, right? I want to use like a 4-hour area of interest. So if you look at this right here, to me is a 4-hour area of interest and is valid enough, because right here we rejected from this area and we pushed to the upside. We came back to that area and we stalled again. We pushed to the upside. Then we broke that area to the downside, as you can see, and when we approached that area again, we sold strongly to the downside. Now we came to that area again with full momentum, but when we approach area again, we had three rejections from that area, and it seems like we are going to be pushing to the downside. And this is actually reacting from last previous structure points on the 4-hour time frame. Do you see how many confluences I just called just now? Great. So now 1 hour time frame, we need 1 hour time frame to shift bearish for us to be interested in this market. And as you can see, this market is a little bit more cleaner if we can get a break and retest below this area right here. And why is this area very valid? Is because this 1 hour time frame is bullish. If you are looking to sell, we need the 1 hour time frame to be bearish. So this right here is the higher high, as you can see, and this is the higher low for that. So for this market to shift bearish, we need price to actually break below this low, right? Break below this low and have a retracement of that low, right? And confirmations to actually sell this market. So for the first time, I'm actually interested in Euro AUD this week, right? So I'm looking for a clean break like this, a retracement and an engulfing to sell. Now let's go to the daily time frame again. I want to see where the structure points of the daily time frame is, and as you can see, this right here is going to be the structure points on the daily time frame, and that is going to be our take profit target, right? That is going to be our take profit target. So target one is 2 first, and then we see if we can hold long enough depending on how the volume or the momentum is going. Then we'll decide to close at either one is 2 or the daily structure point, which is right here. So right, I like Euro AUD for this week. So Euro AUD, I'm adding it for this week. GBP AUD, let's see what we have there. Daily time frame. I can just quickly see an area of interest. So just stick with me here. I'm going to explain what I'm just seeing right now. Right. So first of all, this area of interest is way too far. I don't usually use area of interest that is way too far, but that is the only area of interest you can get right now. So let's just use it for now. Right. The time frame is clearly bearish, as you can see. The weekly time frame is now having a rejection from the area. This is now clearly a weekly area, as you can see. Multiple rejection from that area, and now we are rejecting this area. To be honest, as you can clearly see, we are actually rejecting, and this is actually a Marabozu candle, because now price is likely to actually create could actually buy, right? Just to create a wick to the top at least, right? It's very possible. So I don't really like those details I'm seeing right now, so I can't really buy or sell this market. Now the 4 hour time frame is telling me that if we have a slowdown, we can actually continue selling, right? You see, this market is really just all over the place. I am not interested in selling or buying GBP AUD. Next pair, please. GBP CHF. GBP CHF has just been trending downwards recently, and price has never almost done this before. As you can clearly see, you have, is it GBP CHF? Okay, no. Yes, it's the same GBP CHF. Price has almost never traded under this yellow line before, right? But right now, seems like price like trading under this level right now. So I don't think I'll be interested in GBP CHF just because we don't have enough data to buy or sell this market, right? But for right now, this market is actually clearly bearish, and to continue selling, it will make sense if we can have a minor break and retest under this low, right? A minor break and retest to continue selling, but I'm not really adding it for this week. There's no reason to add it for this week. I am not interested in actually selling this market, right? NZDJPY. NZDJPY. Daily time frame, no area of interest right here that I can see. First of all, right? Weekly time frame, very strong retracement. very strong retracement. We have price coming back to some form of weekly area of interest, right? Because we have rejected at least this area of interest three times, one, twice, and this is actually the third time. It was not a very strong one, but it still counts as a rejection, right? So it's very possible that price might still come back to this level and slow down first before we actually buy. The daily time frame, we don't know. We just have a doji, which means it's slow down, but we don't know if it's going to buy. Let's see how the 4 hour looks. 4 hour time frame is still clearly bearish. We need it to slow down. So that period of time where the weekly time frame is having that slowdown, it should start shifting structure. The 4 hour time frame should start shifting structure to bullish for us to be interested. Right now, I'm not even interested, by the way. So I'm not interested in buying or selling this market right now. Right, the market is clearly bearish right now. I am not interested. All right, so NZD card seems like we were waiting for a retracement back into this level to buy, and price never retraced deep enough. He just had a minor retracement and started buying and just left us, right? So let's see if we can get anything this week. So let's delete what we have. All right, this trade already looks like a counter trend trade setup. So I don't even like counter trend trade setups, right? So there will be no need to even trade this market, right? There will be no need. Look at the 4 hour. All right. Maybe I spoke too soon. Let's analyze the market first. Let's see. I thought I was not going to be interested in this market, but I'm seeing something right now. So first of all, we are at multiple highs on the weekly time frame, which it has clearly shown, at least from this price data right here, since when price approached it the first time, which was right here, till right here, which was 196 days, price struggled to break that area. There is no shot that price is breaking that area right now. Okay, let me not speak too soon, like I'm very 100% sure, but price has clearly rejected this area clearly multiple times. We are around that area right now, and price clearly slowed down, and last week was a doji. Okay, so that is the weekly. But this right here, I will not categorize this area of interest as a valid area of interest. I'll categorize it as just a resistance level, right? Stick with me here. I'll categorize this as just a resistance level. Let's go over to the daily time frame. Now, daily time frame, again, I was thinking it's going to be a counter trend trade setup, but seems like as we're going to the upside, right? Let me show you guys what I'm seeing. Let me draw the path, right? Let me draw the path. So as we are going to the upside, we had a retracement and we had a buy again to the upside. You know what? Let me bring this thing down closer. So we were buying to the upside, we had a retracement right here. We bought again and we sold again. We bought, we sold, we bought again, right? So if I'm looking at this market, if I bring this out and I'm looking at this market, what does this tell me? It means that at this time, this price was actually bullish because this was the higher high at the time and this was the higher low at the time. As long as we broke above, we'll still count that, right? This is now the higher high and the new higher low for that is right here. And because this is the new higher low for that and we broke under, it means that this market has shifted bearish because this is now the new lower low and this is the new lower high for that. Any other price action that is happening right here is clearly bearish. It's simply bearish, right? Okay, so now that we have this information in mind and we see that price is rejecting from weekly area of interest, what do we do? We play it safe. We try to play it safe because right now this area of interest is not a valid area of interest. In fact, we need to write that shape, bro, so that this is just a weekly resistance level, right? This is just a weekly resistance level, not a valid area of interest. This weekly resistance level could very much hold, right? Because the weekly resistance level. You understand what I'm saying? So right now, if price is stalling around here, what does that show? It shows that this area, this resistance level, might actually hold. So for us to be interested, because price has already gotten to that area before, so as you can clearly see right here, price actually got to that area, right? Price could actually continue going up. I would not really mind, but it shows that right now price might actually end up selling. Price might actually end up selling, right? That's what the daily is telling us. The daily is clearly bearish. Weekly is actually bullish. Well, let's confirm that again. It's weekly bullish. Yes, weekly is clearly bullish, right? But as you can see, we are at weekly area, so that is the reason we are drawing that area, right? Weekly is clearly bullish, but getting to area, we had a slowdown. As you can clearly see, this is the strongest momentum in these candles. It did not continue that strong momentum until it slowed down, and last week was just pretty much a doji, right? So daily is now bearish, and 4 hour right now is, well, it doesn't really matter because what I'm going to be drawing will be would determine if market will be bearish at the time of selling the market. So let me explain what I mean. So this right here is the area I am actually paying attention to. So this area, price has rejected down. So anytime we are above, we are rejecting up, right? Anytime we are above this area, we're rejecting up. Anytime we are below, we are rejecting down. Now here we are below, but when price was coming back into area, you can clearly see, if you know your candlestick pattern, this right here is a reversal candlestick pattern. You cannot really be selling from here, right? You had a strong push to the downside. We now have a doji showing clear rejection to the upside, and we now have an engulfing to the upside. There will be no need to actually sell from here actually. You know what I'm saying? Great. So now we still need price to actually have a break and retest under this level to sell. Is this going to happen this week? It doesn't really matter when it happens, but when it happens, we'll be interested in selling this market. So NZD card, I'll just bring it closer, but I highly doubt it to happen this week. AUD USD. AUD USD daily time frame is bullish in my opinion, and we have a minor, and we are at previous what's wrong with this thing? We are at previous structure points right here. So now we need an area of interest, and let's see where if we have it. As you can see, way too far. There's no need to go that far. There is no need to go that far. Whatever data that's happening in the current state, or what do I call it? Whatever price action or news releases that's happening right now in Trump's market, I don't know what we should be going all the way back here to be looking for in Biden's market. You understand? So whatever economic activity is happening right now, that is what's most relevant. To me, there's nothing to do right now. So, but let's just see if we can at least get a 4 hour area of interest. And well, seems like we have a 4 hour area of interest. But let's see. One rejection. It didn't even reject the area of interest. And right now we are rejecting area of interest. In my opinion, this market could buy, but right now this market is bearish. I really do not want to be breaking my rules anyhow, right? All right. So right now I've not made a decision about this pair yet, right? So on the shorter version of the weekly setups, I will make a decision on what to do on AUD USD. But right now, this is what I'm thinking, right? So I'll bring it close because I still have to make a decision on this pair. So I'll just bring it close on the shorter version of the weekly setups. I will try to break it down again to see what we have, right? For right now, I'm still deciding. If to add it for this week. Daily time frame on the AUD card. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with AUD USD, right? And price is just pretty much, bullish. First of all, the market is clearly bullish. Weekly, clearly bullish. 4 hour, also bullish. So seems like we have all three time frames in sync, clearly to the upside. No very solid area of interest, by the way, but we can get at least a 4 hour area of interest, as you can see right here. One, two, three rejections, and price just came to that area again. And let's see how the 1 hour will be looking. 1 hour time frame. This market is not that clean to me. I believe that this market could just find a way to have like a break and retest to continue buying, but I highly doubt I'll be interested in this market, to be honest, right? Next pair, car JPY, daily time frame. As you can see, all over the place, it sold very hard, it bought very hard, it sold very hard. What are we supposed to do with that information? There's nothing to do right here. You just have a support and a resistance level right here. Next pair, GBP AUD JPY. Daily time frame sold very strongly. Right, there's no need. I just cannot see anything here. There's just no need. If I go over to the 4 hour time frame, this market might just end up selling at the end of the day, right? This market might just end up selling at the end of the day. So we might just have a retracement here to sell. Okay, you know what? It's not even that hideous. It's not as hideous as I thought. If you look at the daily time frame, it's literally just all over the place, to be honest, right? It's all over the place. Weekly time frame will be clearly bullish, as you can see. It's clearly bullish, but it seems like we are working with the 4 hour area of interest in this case, right? Seems like we are working with the 4 hour area of interest. So we'll just need a retracement here to sell. That's the only data we have. On the 1 hour time frame, seems like the time frame is still deciding, but to be close above, we'll wait for a shift of structure to sell, right? So let's just bring it closer. Let me. So these are the pairs I will. I've not really decided which one exactly I'm going to add for this week. So come back to the shorter version of this weekly setup. I want to look at this again to decide very clearly on exactly which pair I'm supposed to add for this week. But these are the pairs that have good opportunities, right? Euro AUD, Euro GBP, Euro USD, GBP USD, NZD card, AUD USD, and AUD JPY. So these are the pairs I'll pretty much be paying attention again, right? I might decide on which one to remove for this week or which one to add, right? So I'll decide on the shorter version of the weekly setup. So right now, that's pretty much it for this particular video, right? I'll see you guys on the shorter version of these weekly setups.